Chapter 16. Bloody Forest. Yoon POV. Squinting my eyes from the bright sunlight, I tried to look around. I don't know, but this brightness is giving me the feeling of darkness. This isn't warm. It didn't make me feel calm as I used to feel under the light of nature. The positivity it contains vanished somehow. Putting me on my feet again, Taewang turned me around softly. His dark eyes became calm again as he pecked my forehead. See it by yourself. He stepped back, walking towards the door. My heart is thumping behind my ribcage as I look at him leaning his back on the wall. He never gave any space to me before. Whenever he is with me, he makes sure to remind me I am a prisoner of his, and he will keep me with him forever. Then what happened to him now? Why did he draw back suddenly? I looked into his eyes, which are still staring at me, only to see a victorious shine in them. I looked down as the fear tightened its grip on me, wiping my sweaty palm with the pure white shirt. I turned around to see where I am. I know it's a terrace by the number of stairs he climbed to get here. On the starting days of our relationship, I knew he was strong, but I didn't expect it this much. Climbing so many stairs with me in his arms, he is still breathing so calmly. But knowing he is using his strength to hurt me sends a shiver down my spine. Knowing the fact that he can do whatever he wants to do with me, and I won't be able to fight back. Yes, he didn't force me till now, but it doesn't mean he can't if he wants to. It doesn't mean I can fight him if he ever crossed limit. What will he do that didn't happen to you before? My mind said, trying to remind me of things I desperately want to forget. Shoving the thought away, I looked at the front. While my thoughts are trying to bring me back to the trance of the past, I forced myself to stay in present. I don't want the darkness of the path I went through to affect the bright road I could get in future. But I was unaware that because of the path I am fighting for myself is the darkest. That it will not brighten my life, but blow away the leftover light of my life too. The moment my mind registered my front, I felt like my heart stopped, and my throat became dry as droplets of sweat covered my face. Trees and only trees, as far as my sight can go, I can only see the green leaves. No sign of any human being. I turned to the left side to see the same view. I again turned and again. Trees and only trees. I breathe heavily as my heart is throbbing in my ears. The scene in front of me is killing me. Green, the color of freshness, safety, and hope, is actually become the reason for my sorrow, tears, and pain. Wherever my gaze drops, I can only see green, like I am on another planet where evolution never happened. Where no one knows about skyscrapers and concrete buildings. Where there is no sign of technology and city rush. It would be better even if I stuck somewhere like that, but actually I am stuck with a person who is fully evolved and knows everything about technology, but still he is a beast, raw and wild. Someone who isn't beast just here, but around this whole goddamn country. He is the king here. No one ever went against the Kims and survived. Their rules and discipline are famous, with their punishments and strictness. I don't know how I met him, and why the hell I thought I could just mess around with people I know nothing about. And now I am stuck in a place which is in the middle of nowhere, and I am not sure if I will ever be able to escape. He can catch me even after weeks, as I won't be able to get out of this web of trees before a month. I suddenly flinched when he snaked his hands around my waist, keeping his chin on my shoulder. He hugged me softly. His arms aren't caging me as he knows I saw my cage and know I can't break it. Next time, dream about me, he said, looking at the front. As my eyes filled with tears, squinting my eyes, trying to see as far as I could, doing my best to see some sign of human, somewhere I could run to. Because your hero can't reach here. His voice brought me back to his arm from the trees I am running away from. But you weren't a villain from the start, I said, hoping to persuade him. After knowing in what situation I am, the only way of getting freedom is him opening the cage. I need to work smart. Yep, until you forced me, he said as his voice was coated with sadness or anger or maybe both. I know I hurted him. Things hadn't actually gone as I planned. I don't want to hurt him, but when he tried to choke I lost my cool. While he was a victim, I still didn't supported him. You are the one because of whom he was the victim. Sad for you, villain don't lose in real life. He stretched my shirt a bit, pecking on the mark he left yesterday. You are mine, forever and ever. My blood turned cold as a tear escaped from my eyes. How can I convince him to leave me, that we can't be happy like this, none of us? So, baby, when are you planning to run again? He said, turning me around with him to see the same view. It will be fun to drag you back. Another tear dropped as I swallowed my sobs. I need to be strong for myself, for Kai and Dad who are trying outside. Closing my eyes, I inhaled a deep breath, wiping the leftover tear as I balled my hands. I am not stupid. I heard him chuckling as I closed my eyes again. Finally, you realized running from me is stupidity, he said, turning me around and slammed his lips on mine. I didn't try to push him. I didn't struggle, fisting my hand on his coat. I closed my eyes and let him do whatever he wanted. After he was satisfied devouring me, he put his forehead on mine, and he breathed heavily. I closed my eyes even more tightly when his hot breath was fanning my sweaty face. As you got this sweet realization of reality, let's celebrate it, he said, backing away. He softly holds my hands in his. A cake. He smiled brightly. From my baby's hands. He kissed my palms. My breath hitched. Cake? That too from my hand? But Taewang, he put a finger on my lips. Shh. Leaning towards me, he whispered. If I didn't get my cake, I would eat something else. Someone more precisely. He kissed my cheek and walked out, leaving me alone with this cruel reality. People say time flies when we are happy and slows down when we are sad. But mine stopped. When he left me alone surrounded by just trees around the concrete terrace, I didn't return right away. I wish I had, but I stood like my feet rooted there, staring at the green web to find a hole, a single place which tells someone else also stays here, but nothing. My heart sank deeper the more I failed to find something. The hot rays weren't burning me, my feet weren't hurting, but I was in unbearable pain. Pain of my heart. Pain of knowing my future. Pain of accepting my imprisonment. Pain of losing every hope. I was blank as the only thing I could hear was the loud sobs of my heart. My heart is hurting me, making me realize my helplessness. But I stood there gazing at swinging leaves, but they weren't green, but red because they have my blood. They killed a part of me, a part which I treasured from childhood, which believed everything would be fine in the end. But I have now lost it because the villain of my story is far too strong to keep a hope. Mrs. Kim, add some more milk. A sweet but scared voice dropped me back to the kitchen, where I am trying to make cake for the 4th time. It's not like I don't know how to cook or something, but I don't have a baking hand from the start. I still remember Kai suggesting me to use hammer for breaking the bread that I baked for the first time. And how many birthday cakes I spoiled on mine, Mom, Dad, and Kai's birthdays before accepting my defeat. Nodding my head, I poured some milk, but I suppose it was far too much, so I had to add some flour too. I am tired now. Well, I hadn't started very enthusiastically either, but as time passed, I realized something can never be my type, and baking is one of them. I wouldn't be making it if I didn't know what could be in stock if I failed. If I didn't get my cake, I would eat something else. Someone more precisely. His words still send shivers down my spine. Maybe he was joking, but I don't want to take a chance. He never leaves a chance to force me. He is just waiting when I will quit so he can do whatever he wants. But I will never let that happen. I will do everything in my power to stop him from touching me ever again. I know he loved me once. The genuine love in his eyes is the reason I stopped myself from telling him the truth earlier. I never thought someone would become so serious in just 1 month. But now all his love is replaced by arrogance. He married me not because of love, but because of his broken ego. Now, whenever he looks at me, I see a shine in his eyes, a shine of victory and arrogance rather than depth of love and affection. Mrs. Kim, just half an hour is left. Sam reminded me as my speed of beating the batter increased. Yes, I am running out of time, as I know the moment Kim Taewang steps inside the mansion, he wants me. He is like a kid seeking attention every time. I rolled my eyes, remembering how he used to stick with me all the time in the past 3 days. It was so difficult for me to bear his clinginess and cheesy words like "we are the most romantic couple in the world." I looked around to see a chef staring at the batter I am beating while Sam is standing behind me so I don't lose track of time. At the start, I didn't take help from anybody with the illusion that I could do it on my own, but soon I realized it was my mistake. Not that I have a lot of time to waste, most of the day is eaten up because of lectures. Well, it didn't help as most of the time I was zoning out of the lecture, thinking if I could tell the tutor my situation, who didn't even dare to take a glance at me. I was shocked when I got to know Taewang allowed a male tutor to teach me, but then I realized he would have taken precautions too. Like threatening him to not even look at me, not to shout at me, as I know I am testing his patience when he has to repeat the same concept third time. I don't know if he will help me or not. Will he go against the most powerful individual in the country just for an unknown girl? Well, the thought itself seems impossible, so gripping the thin thread of rationality, I decided to be on the devil's good side. Of course, who wants to trigger him when he is already angry? I don't know how long the lectures went, but there was a short break for lunch of that tasteless salad. By the time I walked out of the library, where I had my classes, sunset was near. I think that's enough, Mrs. Kim. Now pour the batter in the mold. I heard a soft but scared voice. Nodding my head, I placed the already greased heart-shaped mold beside me and started pouring the batter. I looked up to ask if I am doing it right, only to see the chef staring at the mold with scared eyes. Well, he is a young and handsome man, doing his job perfectly until one day his master poked his nose in my business and forced me to do something I can't do at all. Pitying the poor soul, I pulled back the bowl, filling the mold half. I tapped it a few times, remembering the video I saw while making the cake of Kai's birthday last time, when he practically asked me to promise him not to bake ever again. A smile formed on my lips, remembering his scared face when he got to know I baked his birthday cake. His face was sweaty in the middle of winter just because he was being forced to blow out the candles. Dad still had the video clip where Kai gulped thrice before tasting the cake. Well, that wasn't that bad. My smile widened remembering Kai ate almost half of it while it tasted nothing but soda. Looking down at the cake, my smile dropped. I hope Taewang likes it, partially because I don't want all my efforts to go in vain, but mostly because I don't want any type of punishment he mentioned before. Or you will get the punishment you won't be able to bear. Shaking my head to remove his warning from before, I turned around only for Sam to open the oven. Keeping the cake carefully, I stepped back, watching it rotate under the heat. I glanced at the clock to see only 20 minutes left for Devil to return. After that, I will be under his gaze, his control, or even worse, under his arms willingly or not, doesn't matter. Gulping the thought, I again looked at the other two present there, only to find them looking at their feet. The room is thick with tension, mine for the cake while the other two for their life. Ticking of the clock is the only sound audible around the room. How much time it will take? I asked the young man while glancing at the clock. Tapping my feet desperately, I am staring at the electronic machine which will decide how my day will end. 15 minutes, Mrs. Kim. I nodded as the awkward silence again spread around the room. Even when Sam set the timer, I still need to confirm it won't burn. I don't have time to make it again. If this is ruined, neither I have strength to make it again. The moment I heard a ting sound from the oven, I practically ran towards the machine. Opening it with my shivering hands, putting on the oven gloves, I carefully bring the cake out. The chocolatey smell actually calmed some of my nerves, but still, I am not sure. Keeping the cake on the counter carefully, I bring the knife roaming it around the edges. Unclasping the mold, my heart is racing. I am too careful for this one. Keeping the mold on the side, I take a good look at the dessert I created with so much effort. But then my eyes landed on the knife on which a bit of cake was left. Gulping hard, I looked away. No, I am not going to do it. All 3 times I tasted the cake to realize it won't be best to serve it to Devil. When I tasted first time, I spit the cake the moment my taste buds recognized the presence of salt in place of sugar. Realizing I shouldn't be alone, I called the chef, but still failed to make an edible dessert. I was cursing Taewang in my heart every time I had to repeat the process. Why does he want to eat cake? If it would be pancake, I can make it with my closed eyes. But how can anything related to him could be easy? He liked to make everything extra complicated. Huffing irritatedly, I turned towards the mold, as I can't just serve him this, keeping in mind my last 3 attempts. Scraping the leftover, I put it inside my mouth. I closed my eyes as my taste buds were blessed with a sweet, chocolatey flavor. This isn't the best cake I've ever had, but the satisfaction of making something so delicious is unmeasurable. If I made this in my home, I would be jumping around with cake in my hand and feeding everyone I see in front of me. But all my energy and spark died from the time I lost my freedom. I don't feel like myself these days. It's like I am someone else in the same body. The one who celebrates every small victory. Who always stays happy, knowing how life can flip in a second, now rarely smiles. The only thing I feel now is pain, and the only emotion exist inside me is fear. Fear of being stripped from normal rights. Fear of being forced. Fear of breaking down. Fear of being. Shaking myself, I didn't let the thought cross my mind. Looking down, I sealed my lips. Finally, he won't get a chance to hurt me tonight. Taking the knife, I cut the heart of the cake into equal pieces, unlike how Taewang destroyed mine. Did he break yours, or had you broken his? My heart defended him, while I didn't let my thoughts take me away from the present. Holding the plate, I am heading towards the dining room when a handsome man with broad shoulders entered. "Can I get a glass?" He halted his steps when he looked at me, then at Sam, and again returned his gaze on me, staring at me like I am alien. "What the hell, Sam? Do you want all of us dead?" He almost ran towards me. Before I can do anything, he held my hand and started walking towards the door. "But master." Sam stopped when he glared at him. "I will deal with you later," he said, glaring at the poor worker. Sam just looked down as he jerked me forward. I stumbled from the sudden jerk as the plate from my other hand fell. "My cake," I said, looking back to see that delicious dessert on the floor. My eyes welled up. "I will buy you another if we survived," the man said, rushing out of the kitchen. I looked at him confused. What does he mean by that? Is my life in danger? Did someone attack here? My mind started coming up from endless possibilities. But who are? Before I could complete, he pushed me behind the stairs. Looking here and there, he snapped his fingers to some guards. "Stay here, they will hide you," he said, pointing towards the guards who are walking towards us. Frowning, I looked at his worried, or more specifically scared, face. Did he have any problem or something? But why will they hide me? I asked, not understanding what is happening. I am sure he isn't Taewang's man, as no one ever dared to look at me. Touching is another thing, and secondly, he have too powerful aura to work under someone. Turning towards me, his dark gaze landed on me. Well, not darker than Taewang, but still it scared me. I stepped back, watching him leaning down. "If anything happens today because of you, I swear I will give you the worst death," he whispered. "Yell." I flinched from his sudden aggression. I nodded slightly, looking at the floor. I don't know what's happening, but he didn't look like someone I should mess with. "Good," he said, glancing at the front door. "I will take you out as soon as possible." I looked at him with hopeful eyes. Did he come here to rescue me? Until then, don't go anywhere. I nodded my head as my heart started beating fast with the thought of freedom. I don't know who sent him, but I don't care either. I should confirm if he is sent by someone from my side, as his aura is speaking otherwise. Wetting my throat, I decided to clear everything. "Who sent?" "Hyung, what are you doing there?" My heart stopped, noticing the presence of the devil. Not as dark and deep like always. "Tite," the tall man said, walking out of my sight. I was thinking we can store some stock here. You know, for emergency." I peeked carefully to see the bright face of Taewang with another man beside me is looking at my side with smiling face. Why is he so happy today? I thought of that too, but things are under control now, Taewang said as the man who dragged me here nodded. "And we have enough in the basement." "I see, you start getting used to it." A man in specs beside Taewang patted his back. He smiled at the man widely. The smile he used to give me before. No evilness, no sarcasm, just pure smile. They all walked and sat on the couch. Looking at the broad-shouldered man talking to Taewang so frankly somehow broke my hope again. He is not the one who will help me. But he said he will take me out. Should I believe him or not? "Sam." I flinched hearing growl of Taewang. I know he won't shout at me, but still his shout sends shiver on my body. "Call Yun," he ordered as Sam didn't budge. What happened? Taewang stood up as I saw him clenching his jaw. "Where is she?" he asked, glaring at him. I don't know why, but I stepped out of my cover. "Get away," I commanded the guards hiding me. They stepped aside, bowing as I headed in front of them. I fisted my hands when all three pairs of eyes are staring at me. I looked up to see Taewang releasing a tense sigh. "You called me," I said again, looking down as I could feel the angry gaze of the man who hid me. "Come here," Taewang said, opening his arms. Without wasting a second, I walked towards him, not wanting to make him angry. As soon as I came near him, he embraced me like his life depends on it. While I am standing there fisting my hands to not push, I felt him sniffing my shoulder. "What were you doing there?" he whispered. "I hope you aren't up to something mischievous, trick or else." I shake me head immediately, realizing he is going on another road which he destroyed this morning. Backing away, he pulled me from the waist in a tight grip, turning towards the two men in front of us with fear covered their face like they saw a ghost. "Yun, meet my Hyungs," Taewang said with a wide smile on his face. "And Hyung, she is my wife, Mrs. Kim Taewang." He added that at this time his tone is coated with possessiveness. I bowed in respect as their fear turned into shock. "I don't understand what's going on here. A few seconds ago, one of Taewang's guests was hiding me from him, and now Taewang is introducing me to them." "Hyung, I think I am too tired. I am hallucinating." I heard the whisper of a man with glasses. Suddenly, another man smacked his head lightly. I could have burst out laughing if it were old me, but now I feel everything waste. "It's not a hallucination. Kim's finally got their queen," the man who hid me said. I looked towards Taewang with confusion, who was giving his brightest smile to me while his grip on my waist loosened a little. "I am Kim Jihoon, Taewang's oldest brother. I am honored to see you." The man with broad shoulder bowed to me. "Hyung, you don't have to bow." Taewang shut his mouth when he received a deadly glare from his guest. "I am really sorry for my behavior. I hope you will forgive me," he added, bowing again. "Wow means wow. Can my life get any more complicated?" The one who was threatening to kill me a few minutes ago is now bowing in front of me. And I don't know the reason of both of his actions. Suppressing my urge to bombard Taewang with questions, I bowed to him. "You don't have to apologize, Mr. Kim," I said, as a faint smile appeared on his lips. "You can call us Appa if you want," he said. My body stiffed as I don't know what to answer. Until now, I understood Taewang is close with them, but his possessiveness is on another level. I don't want to do something which I regret later. "She will call you Appa from now on." Taewang kissed my forehead before looking at me lovingly. If I say I am shocked, it will an understatement. For a second, I doubted I heard him right. The person who can beat a boy just because he helped me with some notes, the one who can't bear someone looking at me, allowing a man to have a relation with me as pure as a brother-sister relation is, but I know it's not his type of thing. "And I am Kim Joon. It's a pleasure to see you, Queen." The man with specs bowed at us and then showed his dimpled smile. "I am honored to meet you, Mr. Appa," I said with a smile, which is not forced after so long. They sat as Taewang guided me towards a sofa in front of them. I sat, and he sat just beside me holding my hand tightly. "So when had you got married?" Joon Appa asked as he looked at the man beside me. "A week, I guess." He smiled so brightly that all the illumination felt dull in front of it. "And you didn't even get the chance to inform us, such a brat you are." Jihoon Appa scolded Taewang as he looked at him with guilty eyes. "I am unable to decide if we should arrange a celebration for you or a punishment." "I am sorry, Hyung," he mumbled while dropping his head. But sadness is not even near his voice. I know his sad voice. I heard it when we were in a relationship. It can kill you just by hearing his deep, sad voice. It feels like a dark, bottomless lake. Jihoon Appa nodded before releasing a sigh, maybe a disappointed one. He is still staring at Taewang, but his bald hands are slowly uncurling. "That's not fair. Because of you I can't attend the impossible wedding of the great Kim Taewang," Joon Appa said while placing invisible words in front of him. "You can't just walk out like this. You deserve the toughest punishment for forgetting your Hyungs." Taewang looked up, shaking his head. "I didn't forget you, Hyung. It's just I realized I can't live without her beside me a day more." He picked up our intertwined hands and placed a kiss. I resist the urge to roll my eyes in front of his brothers while forcing my lips to smile. What he said isn't a lie, but it isn't the whole truth either. He realized he can't live without torturing me beside him. And he is actually successful in that. He is doing everything to make my life as hard as he can. I don't understand. After everything he is doing with me, how can he lie so bluntly in front of me? A smile appeared on both the Kim brothers watching his youngest in love, not knowing the truth behind his lies. Had you completed all the rituals? Jihoon Appa asked, while Taewang shook his head vigorously. He is looking like a child who was caught red-handed by his parents doing something mischievous. How can I do it without you all? He said. What about others? Others? What do they mean by it? Isn't it a rule for Kims to not make friends? I remember the whole article in the newspaper, which told about the legacy, rules and regulations Kims must follow. And I also remember pitying them for not being able to live their life, not knowing I would be one of them in future. You are the first to meet her, Taewang said, a bit tensed. And when are you planning to introduce others? Hyungs of yours? Other Hyungs? Oh God, how many Kim I have to deal with. I am looking at all of them with a racing heart, while questions are popping in my mind like bubbles in boiling water. But I didn't dare to bring attention to myself, just trying to read between the lines. Time flies with good company, I must say. For the first time in this mansion, I inhaled free air, not coated with smoke of anger, rage, or revenge. Having Jihoon and Joon Appa here makes this prison feel like home. Even for just a few hours, but still it's fine. The dining hall was filled with delicacies as everyone in the mansion left a sigh of relief when there was someone who could tame Taewang. While I just ate tasteless salad as Taewang isn't ready to take a chance on my health, or should I say give a bit of happiness to me. But still, that tasteless food got some spices when Jihoon Appa narrates the funny parts of his trip to China. I never thought the family who is known for strictness and discipline could be so loving and heartwarming. We are laughing as Jihoon Appa cracked a joke. You know, Yeon, in childhood Jihoon Hyung used to hate the guards who didn't laugh at his jokes. And he used. Joon Appa burst out laughing before completing the sentence. While I am laughing, looking at him trying hard to keep himself on his feet. Yeah, you brat, and what about your childhood? Jihoon Appa glared at the younger, but he couldn't hide the smile which penetrated his lips to see his younger laughing so hard. I was laughing when I accidentally looked beside me to see Taewang smiling while his gaze was already on me. Today I got to know Taewang doesn't laugh easily. Well, this one was quite shocking because he used to laugh at my lame jokes too. He looked into my eyes with some unreadable emotions before bending towards me and kissing my forehead. I love you. He mumbled inaudibly as my smile faded and I looked away immediately. I don't know what to reply to him. I won't lie. At least not when he is not forcing me, but I felt guilty for making him step into a forest called love when I knew from the start I had to leave him alone in the end. Shoving the thoughts away, I looked at his brothers, who were arguing about who broke one of the most expensive vases 10 years ago. I don't know why, but Taewang seems more mature than them, more calm and still, like the water of the ocean. The urge to look at him once was too strong, but still I forced myself to not look at his burning eyes, whose gaze is only on me. It's been a good meal after a while, I suppose. Jihoon Appa said, becoming serious like he was when I saw him for the first time. I am glad to finally have a family dinner. He smiled, looking at Taewang as he nodded in response. We are leaving now. Good night. Joon Appa said as both of them bowed in front of us. I didn't feel good about making people older and more powerful than me bow in front of me. I came out of my thoughts when suddenly I felt a sharp pain in my palm. I realized the grip on my hand became painfully tight as Taewang's nails pierced my palm. I looked at him to see his dark aura returning, which had been absent for the whole evening. Gulping hard, I rooted my legs on the ground for not running from the person beside me. The thought of me with him alone in the mansion crept through my heart with fear. You don't have to bow in front of us, Hyung. He tried to sound soft, but still it turned out as a command. Who is bowing to a brat like you? Jihoon Appa glared at him before looking at me. We are bowing to our queen. No, Appa. My words are interrupted by Joon Appa. No, Yeon, you deserve every respect you are getting, even more than that. You are the queen of Kims. But Appa, you are older than me, I don't want you bowing to me. Jihoon Appa smiled before taking a step towards me. I felt Taewang's loosened grip tighten again. Appa stopped abruptly, maybe noticing the change in Taewang's body language. Yoon, you're a queen. A queen can make or break a lineage. I nodded, looking down. Queen, the words felt like tons of weight. But I am proud of him for choosing a diamond like you. I looked down. How will I tell him he didn't choose me? He snatched me from my life and forced this responsibility on me. How will I tell him the truth, or will I ever be brave enough to tell the reality of this relationship? To show them the reality behind the wall of lies. He bowed again as I pursed my lips, bent down with Taewang to show him our respect. Stepping out of the bathroom, I took a deep breath, filled with freshness after getting rid of the itchiness of the flour by making so many cakes. Today I made a decision that not even in a million years I am going to bake something, not even in my dreams. I know my hand is not a baker's hand, and I accept my flaws flawlessly. Removing the wet towel from my hair, I started drying it while walking out of the closet. Today wasn't as bad as I expected. This evening is the best evening I have ever spent in my golden cage. Not just because I was able to talk to someone other than the devil, but also because now I know who can tame Taewang. I don't know if he is really afraid of Appa or not, but it will help me to survive. They came into my life like a ray of hope when, in the morning, their younger brother extinguished it. I smiled, remembering how Jihoon Appa scolded and glared at Taewang while he was getting nervous under his angry gaze. But my smile faded the moment I entered the room. Dead silence was spread there when Taewang was sitting on the couch. I gulped hard, seeing his hard expression. Darkness, which I assumed I got rid of, at least for tonight, is returned now. Are you planning to stare at me the whole night? I flinch at hearing his deep, cold voice as he is still looking at the carpeted floor. Come here, baby, he said, turning his dark gaze towards me. I buckled my legs to not step back. No doubt Taewang was considerably normal today, but still his dominant personality can't be suppressed. I remember his words when I was uncomfortable with our closeness and shifted a bit. He shifted towards me again, filling the gap I created. But when I was about to repeat my actions, I flinched, getting a peck on my cheek. Try to get away again, and you will end up on my lap, I swear. A shiver ran down, realizing he can control me even when there were people from whom he was afraid of. So, what will he do now? Disobeying, aren't we? He raised a brow, glaring at me. I shook my head while unwillingly taking steps towards him. The silent atmosphere of the room is not giving me good feelings. My instincts were shouting to get out of this room, but I kept on walking towards him, whose gaze is glued on me. I don't know what is the reason behind his sudden mood swing. But can I stop him? No, right? Then what's the use of making him more angry? I gulped hard when he patted his lap. Swallowing my self-respect for getting away harmlessly, I slowly unbuckled my legs and sat on his lap. He pulled me towards him, filling all the gap I tried my best to make, making my back to lean on his muscular chest. I fisted my hands as I felt him tracing his nose on my covered shoulder. Did my baby enjoy today? Yes, I replied, remembering his kiss from the morning. I felt his lips smirking on my shoulder. Now it's my turn. My blood ran cold from his words, but before I could ask anything, a knock eased my tensed nerves. But before I can exhale a sigh, he makes me look at him. Eyes on me, he demanded. I nodded when I saw his eyes darkening at my lack of response. Come in. I looked at his angel-like face while I heard a clanking sound on the table in front of me. Soon, I heard the door lock while my eyes were on his lips, and my mind is fetching for the outcome this situation could have. If you like my lips, I won't mind you kissing them. I immediately looked away, while my gaze saw a bowl on the table with a lid on it. Taewang leaned forward, pressing his chest on me, while his one hand wrapped around my waist possessively. He opened the bowl to expose whipped cream and chocolate flavor. I frown as questions start jumping into my head like bunnies. But before I can ask anything, he grips one of my hands and dips it inside the bowl. When my fingers are half covered in cream, he brought it out and laid to his face. I tried to pull back my hand, but it only made his grip painfully tight. I started moving to get free from his grip. Stop struggling, he ordered while I was on the edge of crying. Taewang, please, what are? My words cut off when his mouth captured my thumb. I shivered as he started sucking it like a child. A lone teardrop fell from my cheek as I again tried to pull away, but suddenly yelped when he started biting it. Stop struggling if you don't want it to be painful. With that, he took my index finger. His tongue is swirling around my finger, making me feel so disgusting. Stop, please. Why are you doing this? I whispered. He looked at me with an amused smirk and brought my hand to his cheek, making the prints of cream on it. I don't know what's in his mind. Before I could understand something, he pulled me near with his tight grip on my nape. I didn't get my cake, baby girl. He bit my cheek painfully before licking it. So I am eating something else. He is licking and kissing my cheek while I sat there frozen. I don't know what should I do. Should I tell him the cake fell because of Jihoon oppa? Will he believe me? Or I should just give him another cake. Burned one? It wasn't that bad. But what if it made him more angry? Taewang bites my finger again as his dark orbs are on me. Don't you dare to zone out. I nodded, not knowing what to do. He again put my hand on the bowl, and this time my palm was also covered. Please Taewang, stop, I said a bit loudly when he bit my palm painfully. It's hurting, please stop. In an instant, he pushed me on the couch and hovered above me. I tried to push him with one hand as the other is still on his grip, but no use, he attacked my neck. Taewang, stop. He started sucking and biting my neck. I tried to wiggle out, but no use. The only thing I can do is to plead with him to spare me. After biting my neck countless times, he backed away, looking at my teary eyes. Your screams are so sweet, he said sweetly, licking my tears. But I want it when you are beneath me, full of pleasure. Should I, baby girl? I widened my eyes, shaking my head vigorously. Then shut up and bear your punishment, he said and got up and pulled me onto his lap again. He again put my fingers on his mouth, but this time, he bit more painfully. I purse my lips, knowing he isn't joking and I can't take the risk.
Author POV. Punishment should be equivalent to crime. If it's less than crime, it will be injustice, and if it's more than the crime, it's torture. Words of Acharya Chanakya, which can help to give justice to victims. But it's also a warning to not break someone whose crime isn't as lethal. But will Taewang be able to understand that what he is doing isn't justice to his broken heart, but torture to his love? Will he be able to stop before it's too late? Will he prevent Jihoon from breaking into uncountable pieces?